Hey, this is Brett the Hitman Hart, and you're listening to the Smacked Raw podcast.
Like, okay, well, has this always been a thing? Where have I been?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Smacked Raw podcast, SmackDown edition. We are your hosts, Kyle Tyson, and like always, RN's in the chat with his new laptop. What's going on, RN?
What's good, boss man? Told you fuckers I was finally gonna get one.
It's Jesus, dude. Dude, we were about to open up a betting pool. Who would get their shit first? You with your laptop or Delgado with that damn neck tattoo? But
that was more motivation than anything to get this fucking laptop. I don't care if I was gonna have to turn tricks. I was getting it before. That damn tattoo.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the show, man. Thank you so much for joining us. We are a wrestling recap show that you can catch live on twitch.tv/puttingyouover. And if you ever miss a live stream, you can always catch us on youtube.com/SmackedRawPodcast. Hit that like button, subscribe, and notification bell. Thank you guys for getting us over 200 subscribers, man. Thank y'all so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We're here tonight. We're going to talk SmackDown. Acknowledge me. What'd you think of SmackDown, man?
They all been pretty much like average or above average shows since Roman's been back. So, I mean, like we said before we started recording, promo heavy, lot of words, a little bit of content. So.
Yeah, man. Yes. So this is what I think is going on. I think they are going to sprinkle Edge and Bianca Belair over the 3 shows to try and boost ratings, see if it really boosts interest. Because the moment you lock Edge and Bianca Belair down, if you're tuning in for them, you're only tuning into that one show. You know what I mean? You might not be as inclined to tune into the other shows like NXT or Raw or whichever show they don't choose to appear on. Honestly, I think it's a lock for SmackDown, though. SmackDown's getting both of them this year.
Yeah, I don't see why. There's no reason not to do it. Like, I mean, I would say that Drew probably needs to rub a little bit more, but he'll instantly be a heel the moment he gets into a program with Edge. Like, it doesn't matter what he does.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's true. It's very, very true. It's weird. I had this thought and I think you mentioned it about Roman. I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was you, maybe it wasn't you. I don't know. But in the same breath that Drew has hurt from not having a crowd, Roman has thrived. It's weird how the lack of crowd has like helped out one person while another person, I don't think it's necessarily hindered Drew, but if you look at the comments, half the people talking about Drew's title reign brings up like, man, if he only had fans, you know. Right. Whereas no one's saying that about Roman. If anything, it's the lack of fans have lent Roman the ability to talk in a cadence that would normally draw hecklers, you know?
No, that was me that said that because it was like he actually got a chance to take some practice swings, if we're being honest. Like, with there being no crowd, like, he's literally going out there and having batting practice. So he can, like you said, he can play with his tone of voice. He can play with the pace of his promos. He can do all the things, like you said, when a bunch of jackasses yelling "what" every two words, he wouldn't get the opportunity to do.
Yeah,
and I think the same thing with Seth Rollins too. I think that was a lot of reason why the Messiah gimmick got over, because he got to slow down and talk like an actual preacher or one of those weird evangelists would actually do. And it was a few people that I think definitely benefited from not having a normal crowd.
Yeah, man. No, very, very true. Get Your Podcast. Justin is in the chat. He says, RN and Kyle, what's good? What's good, Justin?
What's good, bro?
Bama's out here. Roll Tide. I don't even know what that means, but Roll Tide, Bama. So he likes it whenever anybody says that. So
Roll Tide.
Going back to Roman's promo ability, I don't know if anybody else had a flashback to when he went head to head with John Cena, and John Cena hit him with that burn. This is like your turn to talk, and he goes on. It's like it's a promo. You'll have to learn how to do it. Tonight he hit Edge with, he punctuated his whole acknowledge me promo and then said, "This is your cue," and it just instantly drew me back to that moment.
Yeah.
And I was proud of my boy Roman, just stepping his game up on the promos, man.
Absolutely. I mean, that was the main thing that his tool bag was missing was mic work.
Yeah. No, man. And now I think though, with Edge and Roman, Bianca and Sasha, I think the writing's on the wall. It's very easy to read. And speaking of reading, you guys should head over to WrestlingNewsWorld.com and subscribe or bookmark, that webpage. A bunch of talented writers over there. We like to talk and, ingest a lot of our wrestling content. I think it's important to catch up on your reading too. So head over to WrestlingNewsWorld.com, bookmark it, check out their articles, man. A lot of talented people over there. And then lastly, you can head on over to Patreon while you're at it too. Check out our Patreon, man. You all know what it is by this point. Patreon.com/SmackDraw I'm not going to overdo it today. Just head over there. We're really excited for people to get on there and start giving the video unpopular opinions. We're going to be actually featuring a couple on the next episode of UWO, which is going to be airing Saturday next week, February 13th, a special Putting You Over edition. It's going to feature standing streamer Vanessa, Bob. Bama was going to be on it. Bama had some outside stuff he had to take care of, so D-Rod is going to sit in for Bama and for this special edition of UWO. So like I said, if you want to be featured on the episode, head on over to Patreon, hit up that DDT tier, and submit your video on popular opinion so we can air it on the show, and we'll debate whether you have any merit or if it's trash, and then we'll just yeet you out into existence. So all right, that's enough plugging, enough shilling. Let's get into the show, man. We kicked it off with Roman. Roman's just out here saying that, he beat Kevin like he said he would. He's on to the future now, which he refers to as Edge. He's got two issues. First, why is Edge showing up on Raw and NXT when Roman's obviously the A champion, and that he should be begging him for a match. The second issue is, why was Roman out there first? Why wasn't Edge coming out begging Roman, pleading with him to have a match? At that point, Roman tells Paul, get Edge out here. I don't know why he thinks Paul has that ability, but Paul Heyman instantly starts yelling at a stagehand to play Edge's music, hit his pyro. Nothing happens. Roman at this point gets pissed. Why is Edge trying to make me look stupid, essentially? And then tells Edge, you have till the end of the night to give us your decision. And that's how we kicked off. Yeah.
This segment had Paul Heyman written all over.
Yeah.
Everything that Roman said, just everything. Like, you could tell that all of this is a brainchild of Paul Heyman. Like, anyone that knows wrestling and has been watching wrestling long enough, like, this all literally probably came word from Paul. Like, he literally told Roman how to do it and what to do. I don't care. No one convinced me otherwise. This shit was about as Heyman gets.
Yeah. I agree with you. I'm trying to figure out what the hell Matt is doing. He says, I will when Kyle edits it. Bama being a good guy, I think decent. It's the super kick party, Katie tells me. Oh shit, I don't even know my own Patreon. Look at that. Thank you, Katie. Oh man, I love having Katie in the chat, dude. I'm telling you, she is to me to what Jamie is to Joe Rogan. Anytime Katie's in the Patreon or in the Twitch chat, I love it, man, because I make so many mistakes and she is on it to correct them. Somebody else who was on it was Baron Corbin tonight, who got the upper hand on Dominic and Rey Mysterio during Dominic's entrance. He tossed Rey off stage. Dude, why is Corbin so inept to being in these overdrawn, long out feuds? Like it's just at this point, man.
I think a lot of it is the fact that we do all genuinely hate Corbin. So yeah. he's not getting hurt by the fans shitting on him online and people saying that it's terrible. Like, He embraces it. He loves it. And I think they take advantage of that.
Dude, I feel like he's only been in 2 feuds since 2019, like Roman Reigns and Dominic Mysterio.
That's all I remember. I honestly cannot tell you another. I remember the dog food shit and all that.
I was there for that. I was live there, man.
That's all I remember is Roman and fucking the Mysterio family.
Yeah, I don't know. But either way, another feud that just is going on for very long and feeling like it's going nowhere is this feud. The match happens. Corbin dominates the majority of the match while Ray is tended to by trainers. Eventually, after a commercial break, Ray makes it ringside. As the fight goes on, it spills outside. Dominic makes it back in the ring. Ray appears from under the ring, grabbing Corbin, preventing him from getting in there. Dominic hits the 619, a frog splash, and pins Baron Corbin. Once again, how are the Mysterios the faces?
That's what I was about to say. They've been doing nothing but heel shit this entire feud.
Only do
with
heel
Corbin.
shit.
Dumping him, fucking distracting the ref. Now his fucking midget dad holding his leg under thing. Like nothing about these. Like we just actually me and Bama talked about this on the NXT recap. Like WWE is fucking twisted. Like the good guys do bad guy shit all the time, and we're supposed to cheer this shit on. And
do you think they're trying to get him over in the same way that Eddie got over? Like, surely it can't be because they're not.
No, I don't think because he didn't do anything
to the camera or anything. Like,
yeah, and he wasn't doing anything. Like, if it was more so, like, I honestly probably wouldn't be mad at that if he was doing the cheating and like getting over and shit. Like, my Uncle Eddie taught me well or anything like that. If it was actually him, but it hasn't been him. It's been his mom. It's been his dad, his sister, Buddy Murphy. Like, they've all been doing the heel shit. Like, and he's benefiting from it. Like, I just want Rey Mysterio to get the fuck off my TV screen. I'm sorry. Like, no disrespect to him. He's a legend. I'm not saying he sucks in the ring. Like, I actually genuinely enjoy his matches, especially when he goes against bigger guys. But, like, get him the fuck off my screen. Like, I'm sorry. I'm old.
Give us a significant reason why they're cheating. Like, acknowledge it. Acknowledge it. Just like...
And like, that old motherfucker just re-signed.
They've been cheating for months, and the only people that bring it up are the heels. The heels.
And no one wants to listen to them. Like, that's the part that kills me. Like, it's like, they're not lying. They are cheating. They've been jumping them. They've been distracting the ref. 2 or 3 different people at a time distracting Corbin. Now, like I said, he fucking wee-manned him and jumped out the bottom of the ring and grabbed his leg this time. It's just like, I'm over it. Like, I want Dominic to turn heel and get away from his dad and actually let him like spread his wings and become he's already hindered by the Mysterio name.
Yeah. Getcho's in the chat trashing Corbin. Hey man, watch the bald guy hate, okay, man? Just watch the bald hating, okay? Let's talk about Corbin.
The worst part is I feel sorry for Corbin because he didn't want to get stuck with these people.
He really is, man. He was the scapegoat for why the ratings were so bad and why WWE was shit. When all the McMahons had to come out and address, like, yeah, we're sorry our product sucks. It's Corbin's fault.
Right. Like, get the hell out of here.
Oh, man. Kayla Braxton had an interview with Big E. It was pretty much a throwaway. She did a couple of these to hype up the Intercontinental Championship match later in the night between Big E, Sami Zayn, and Apollo Crews. Biggie just says he's had to fight his whole life, much like Lady Liberty. Bring me your tired, bring me your poor, and I will fight. Was essentially the whole promo.
The gist of it.
Sasha Banks, honorary starter for the Daytona 500. Is that enough to get you to watch NASCAR, RN?
Believe it or not, I do actually watch the Daytona 500.
For real?
My mom worked for Time Warner growing up, and that was like a thing, like the Super Bowl, Daytona 500, and like a couple other things where like they always had like big events and stuff. Like my mom actually went to it like 3 or 4 times. Like she would win the sales contest and get to go down there and shit. So like it's probably the only time you'll ever catch my black ass watching wrestling. I mean, race.
I went to a couple races in person. They're fun in person.
Yeah, they're absolutely dope. Like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, like the racism thing like is a little bit overblown as a fan, but I'm not gonna lie, like I had a fucking awesome time in the couple races I went to. Like it was, I mean, to be honest, the white people were so surprised to see like black people there, like actual black people, not like country black people. Like they were like, God, you guys are, how you doing? Like
black
everybody
people
kept
showing up wearing Timberlands and shit.
Yeah, exactly. Literally wearing fucking Timberlands. They were literally asking us, like, well, how are you guys enjoying it? Like, yeah, you gonna come back? Like, literally, we got more questions like that than anything. Like, they were just so surprised to see some black dudes there not in tight jeans and cowboy boots. You know what I'm saying? But like, we really did have a good time. Like, it was. That's probably the only time I do even like. I won't watch a whole race, but I will actually tune in and check in the 500.
I think anytime I've put a race on, I'm asleep in 20 minutes. Like it puts me to sleep. It's the adult version of what's that shit that you hang over like an infant in their crib. The
I can't even fucking think of it.
Oh man, Katie, help me out here.
We got too many fucking kids for us not to be able to think of this. We got 5 kids between us, and we can't think of what that's called.
I know the second she says it, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, like whatever. Anyways, we'll move on. Where are we at? Oh, Cesaro had his match with fucking Daniel Bryan. Damn, Daniel Bryan is going out of his way to put over Cesaro lately, isn't he?
I'm not mad at that. I just wish that it actually meant something. Like, I know he's part of the writing team and he's trying, but like, we can't get behind this as fans anymore. We've been wanting this and clamoring for this for so long.
Really quick, Katie said it's a mobile. Yeah, thank you,
Mobile,
Katie.
that's
God damn, man. Going back, yeah, Bryan putting over Cesaro.
Because you know that, I mean, they're clearly good friends. You clearly know that Daniel Bryan knows the potential that Cesaro has and knows that Cesaro could be a world champ. And like I said, with him joining the writing team and all that, you know that he's doing this himself.
Yeah.
But if it's only one man on a crusade is not enough. So
no. His match, dude, they go hard on each other. You could tell.
Yeah.
Cesaro was busted open within minutes of the match. The side of his head was busted, bleeding everywhere. Hard hitting match. It comes down to Cesaro hitting probably the biggest damn backbreaker I have ever seen. He military presses Daniel Bryan up, tosses him what seems like 10 feet in the air. Daniel Bryan comes down only on Cesaro's knee in a backbreaker. Cesaro takes it, turns it into the swing, and then turns that over to the cloverleaf. I'm loving how the swing is now legitimately part of his finishing maneuver. Excuse me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas, like, the swing was always a spectacle. Now the swing is being led into the cloverleaf, and Daniel Bryan made it look devastating.
My thing is too, like, this is too little too late, because even if he did get over and he did start picking up some momentum, Roman's gonna fucking crush him, or Big E will. So it's like the ceiling's locked in place for him. Like, there's nowhere for him to go.
Cesaro will need to beat somebody like Seth Rollins. Is what'll need to happen. He'll need to be.
Which even that, like, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, even if they did get him on a roll like that, like, what chance does he have versus Big E or Roman Reigns?
I mean, I think anybody can be salvaged given the right amount of time and booking. I don't think it's 2 matches. Like, Cesaro. Yeah. It's kind of like this stupid like self-help phrase somebody once told me. They said, when referring to like decisions that are being made, sometimes like bad decisions, they said, if you walk, 6 miles into the woods, when you decide to get out and turn around, you still have to walk 6 miles back out. So, Cesaro obviously would have to take some time in the right booking, but like anything else, I think it could be done. I don't think it will be, but I think it could.
No. Like I said, it's a one-man crusade by Daniel Bryan, clearly.
And he's doing his damnedest, man. I'll give him that. Speaking of Seth Rollins, he'll be back next week. It's announced during a promo. I am going to have to get my Greater Good soundbite ready for that. Bianca Belair, she gave hyping up. She gave a promo about giving a promo later on.
Right.
the cutest part about this was the footage of her parents, which I'm so happy was captured. Her dumbass dad falling off the couch, man. I don't mean dumbass. Let's say clumsy. Yeah, that's a better word. Her clumsy dad falling off the damn couch, celebrating.
And that's the thing too. Like, as cheesy as this was, like, she's just, again, it was like something we were talking about with Toni Storm. Like, she just has that it doesn't matter what the hell she does.
Yeah, you
can't help but be engaged and give a shit about it.
No, I'll give her one thing, man. Like, back to back SmackDown promo before the Rumble, and then the Rumble promo after she won.
Yeah,
she got the hell out of a babyface promo.
Yeah,
like legitimately. Like, that was. I mean, Ric Flair is obviously one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time. But that was up there. Like, Ric Flair is like a tear in my eye, and then her crying, talking about her parents and shit. Tell me that wasn't like an iconic moment.
I remember I told you, I put in the group chat, like, that shit made me kind of fucking well up. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that was dope. And like I said, it's just like, because you can tell that even though the EST thing is supposed to be like boisterous and like sort of Sasha Banks, like, where don't give a shit about anybody, but at her core, same thing with Montez and Dawson. I mean, yeah, you can tell at their core that they're just genuinely good fucking people that everyone loves. And it doesn't matter if they're a heel or a face. Like, you can't hide who you really are on TV. If you're, you know what I'm saying? If your star is that bright, if your heart is that bright, you just can't hide it. You can see she looks like a little girl having the time of her life. And it's endearing.
It's fascinating, man. I can't wait to see where the WrestleMania program goes with her. I mean, obviously the most looked forward to matchup would be her and Sasha, from what I gather.
By far.
Yeah. I mean, really would be. I have something to say on that when that whole crap went down after this match. But next up, we had a Bayley match. Bayley took on Ruby Riott. Bayley hits a nasty lawn dart into the ring apron, essentially re-injuring Ruby Riott's shoulder, which obviously she had double shoulder surgery.
Yeah.
This whole time you have Liv Morgan outside the ring cheering her on, and then you have once again Billie Kay on commentary. I missed what happened, but like what? From what I gathered, because I must have looked down the second it took place, Corey Graves worked up Billie Kay to the point where she helped Ruby Riott lose by mistake.
Yes, I missed it too. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I think I was grabbing a beer or something. I missed it too.
Because I heard Michael Cole like saying, like, look, you got her all worked up, and now she cost Ruby Riott the win. To be honest, Ruby was never winning that match anyways. Let's just be honest. I did think it was comical that Billie Kay immediately went from apologizing to Liv Morgan to chasing down Bayley to hand off her resume.
Which was Corey Graves' idea. He's like, did you ever think about maybe trying to get down with Bayley? She's like, you know what? That is a good idea. And then she went for it after the match.
Oh, man. So here we go. This promo segment screamed WWE is too scared to turn Sasha heel right away. This was in my opinion, this was ass, and I feel bad for all the participants in it. I really do. This was a poorly put together segment. Bianca Belair in the ring, giving an impassioned promo. Her whole life has changed. She's got a whole bunch of new attention. Her phone's blowing up. She's having to pretend she's got a new number because she doesn't know these people. And then she starts to address she addresses facing Asuka, which takes all of 5 seconds. And then she really goes in on Sasha Banks. But before we can get any conclusive idea of what her intentions are, out comes Reginald of all people. And I get this. It's because Bianca's not heel, Sasha's technically not heel, right? So you need a heel in
to
here.
Get through.
Yeah.
To get us to WrestleMania.
Reginald comes out and essentially cuts like the stupidest promo about, hey, if you pick Asuka, you know, you could beat her. Sasha, we all know you can't win. Why the heck does it even concern Reginald who is a wine waiter to Carmella, who the hell Bianca Belair picks?
Why should he have a mic? Because clearly he is not good on the mic yet.
This is just straight like you put it, man. It was straight ass.
And my thing is too, like, even with Sasha out there not being a heel, she's still a fucking heel from the way that she dresses, from the way that she talks. Like,
yeah,
she has that same it factor that Bianca has, but she has it the other way where you want to hate her. She's way better at being a heel. She makes more sense as being a heel because she's tiny. She's not 9 times out of 10, she's the smallest fucking person in the ring.
Yeah.
So a smaller person like that should be the heel doing whatever she has to do to win. Like I said, even her outfit, she looked like a heel. Like everything about her screams heel. I don't understand why they insist on doing the square peg round hole thing with her. Like, look, she is a fucking heel.
The promo is so convoluted. Reginald even insults Carmella inadvertently during this, and Carmella doesn't even acknowledge it. He says, "You could probably beat Asuka. You know you can't beat Sasha. Heck, you can't even beat Carmella." If that ain't a backhanded insult right there, I don't know what is.
And then on top of that, when she started whooping his ass with her ponytail, why didn't Carmella attack her? Carmella sat there and was like, "Oh man."
It was like, because they just
nothing about this made sense.
They wanted Bianca to talk and Sasha to talk, but they needed a heel face dynamic, so they inserted Reginald as the heel. But still gave Mike time. It made no sense at all. Carmella came out. Carmella bragged about beating Sasha Banks like in her first matchup against her years ago. And said, "Look, I've beat her twice." Like, you just lost. And
that's why Sasha's
boasting
still the
about
champ.
A win, and Sasha comes out
like Sasha's still the champ because you just fucking lost to her, Carmella. What the hell is like? I didn't get any of this. I just didn't. Like I said, like even how Sasha dresses, she dressed like a heel. Dude, she dressed like a bad bitch that looks her nose down on everybody. Like, she can't help it. That's just who she is.
Man,
let it be.
It was
like let it, and you have it perfectly set up. Heel versus face. You don't need her to be a face. She's not a good face. To me, I think she's terrible as a face. I feel the same way about her as I feel about Tommaso Ciampa. Like, some people are just better heels. Like Triple H, I don't like. That's my favorite wrestler all time. He sucks as a fucking face. You can't believe somebody that's that big of a jerk being a good guy. You just can't. He's better being the cerebral assassin, that asshole that you want to just spit in his face. Like, that is the same thing with Sasha. Like, I don't want to like Sasha in a good way. You want to
spit in Sasha Banks' face?
Sometimes she's a bitch, but in a good way. You know what I'm saying? Like in a good way, like a loving spit in the face, if that makes sense. Like a loving loogie. You know what I'm saying?
A loving loogie. Oh man. Yeah, it was really dumb. Sasha Banks, she addresses everything. She acknowledges Bianca's accomplishments between the 2 Royal Rumbles, setting records, her lifting Otis, her chasing down Bailey, trying to put over the EST stuff. And then, but she's like, if you're going to choose me, then do it. And at that point, once again, before we can hear anything conclusive, Reginald interrupts and then gets his tail whipped by Bianca and her hair. And then that closes the segment. They were just like, oh, we're out of mic time, apparently.
That's what I said. Like, Carmelo's like sitting there like this. Oh, Reginald's getting his ass whooped. Like, that's your guy. Like, I was expecting her to like clock Bianca afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Like something like.
I don't know, man. Don't know. It was easily the low light of the whole show was this segment, which sucks because I love everybody that's involved in it, but it just screamed WWE did not know how to book this promo between them. Moving on, Gable and Otis take on the team of Rude and Ziggler, who apparently got new music. I didn't really notice it too much till I want to say Bama was saying something. They got new music. It was all right. Since I didn't notice it, I assume it was all right because if it was shitty, I probably would have noticed.
Well, I like them now that they're an actual tag team. Matching gear, one song coming out together. I think that they're always good because, as much as shit as we talk about them, they're fucking dope in the ring, both of them.
Yeah.
But being an actual real tag team now, I think that goes a long way, especially them being the tag champs. Like, I love the matching gear. I love the dirty dog shit, even though it's a lame dad joke. Like, I love I love the jackets. I ain't gonna lie, I rock the shit out of them leather dirty dog jackets. I get one for sure. You know
Hell
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
man.
Like, but yeah, no, I dig them a hell of a lot more as an actual tag team, matching gear, everything.
Yeah, they have a match. Otis, I said this in the chat. I'll say it here, man. Brock Lesnar might, take people to Suplex City. Otis is the damn mayor of Suplex City. Like, screw doing the Caterpillar. Give me Otis creating his own version of like the multiple suplex angle where Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit would do the triple Germans.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar just hits repeated, release Germans. Let Otis do like just a signature variety of suplexes.
You know what I was thinking,
like back to back.
Like right after you said that, like I wouldn't mind them being American Alpha, just a new version. Like, tell me that wouldn't be fucking dope if they got serious and just really just started beating the shit out of each other, suplexing the shit out of everybody. Because Gable, too. Gable could be on the staff of the Suplex City board. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could definitely be a city manager in that town. Like, if they went a full-blown, like, American Alpha, a new version of it, like, that would be fucking dope. Like, get this comedy shit out of it. These are two legitimate dudes that could literally pull you apart. Like, two legitimate fighters.
Yeah.
Like I don't get like how they can't jump on that and use that.
Well, their dynamic is Otis is the winning guy and Gable is the one eating the pins. And that's exactly what happened here. Otis goes on a rampage. He hits a bunch of suplexes, does the Caterpillar, Gable gets tagged in, and then within moments later, Gable's the one eating a pin. But yeah, I'm a fan of. There's a lot about Otis I really, really like.
Yeah,
it's not shocking that Vince was high on Otis. It's shocking that you put the money in the bank on the guy, but the dude has a very endearing personality. He can be very, very lovable, sympathetic. Especially, just go back to the time when I think Ziggler helped break his heart, and then you had Tucker embracing him while he was broken. If that wasn't one of the most endearing moments in his career.
And then not even on that, like if you made him a heel, he would be on par with like Mark Henry. Like the way he was tossing him, man. The way he was tossing him around and that fucking spinning lariat that he did on Ziggler, like he sent Ziggler's head into the third round. Like Ziggler's head hit the Titan truck. Like if you turned him into a monster heel and gave him, like I'm gonna keep saying this, why does Roman Reigns not have soldiers? Otis with Paul Heyman would be a lights out combination and some muscle for the family. Like he needs somebody that can kind of talk for him if he becomes heel, because I don't think his stick kind of works as a bad guy, but
not as a bad guy.
But as a heel, like imagine him just tearing through people, like and suplexing everybody, like you said. Like imagine him versus Braun Strowman just tearing each other the fuck apart. Like, that would I would be down for that. Like you said, I can now that things have kind of calmed down and got away from the love story stuff. Like I can honestly say, I understand what Vince saw. Like he has that it factor.
Yeah,
that short 5'8", 300-pound fucking ball of whatever he is. There's something there. There really is.
Those stout dudes and suplexing, it's beautiful.
And his gear, like his gear is dope now. The like, whatever he switched it up to kind of look more like Gable's and shit. Like I dig it. I dig it.
Yeah, man. The whole story about this though was actually Street Profits on a remotely commentating, not even at commentary, remotely commentating the match, still vying for their rematch, putting themselves over. Honestly, dude, I've grown sour on the Street Profits. Like I'm finding less and less of a reason to like these guys, and maybe that's the story they're trying to portray.
I want to call you a racist dude and jump on your shit about it, but like I swear I'm there. I'm there with you. Like the shucking and jiving and shit and yelling and screaming and like to me, they're a tag team of R-Truth to me now at this point. Like they're not doing shit in the ring. they didn't really defend the belts that much. They were doing basketball tournaments and shit and eating turkey legs and stuff. Like, to me, like, they are not. I'm not on board with them that as much either. Like, I love them because they are who they are, but like within the last few months, like I'm with you. Like, I don't know why I should like them besides them being funny. Like, and that's not enough reason for me to like somebody.
I think your need to call me a racist is actually just because the next segment up involved Hulk Hogan.
I'm not even gonna say nothing about this. You can have this. I'm not gonna say anything.
There's really nothing to say about it. It was a 45-second promo. Hogan hanging out in his merch room of his house, where he just has all of his own merchandise. Him and Jimmy Hart, and Hogan just essentially said, "Whoever Edge picks, Edge is gonna win." Because they're former tag team champions, which I honestly forgot all about. And then Hogan still stole the thunder, was like, Edge is gonna have Hulkamania run wild all over you. And I was like, Hogan, stop putting yourself over.
I don't understand why they keep trying to drag him out. Like, because at this point, like, it's not even just the black fans that are over his shit. Like, if you look through Twitter, it's probably a million more white people saying, like, what the fuck are they doing? Why is Hogan still on TV? And that surprises me, like, every time, like, how many white people are just as offended of this fuck as the black fans are. And I love that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's because to the casual viewer who doesn't pay attention to behind the scenes ongoing, the only wrestling that they've ingested is they turn the show on, they turn it off. They don't go behind the scenes and listen to the dirt sheets in the news. They're just unaware of it, and there's a lot of people like that. We're technically the minorities that live on Twitter. You know what I mean? Like, that's all it is. I mean, moving on though. By the way, on a lighter note, it was 33 years ago that Hogan and Andre the Giant had that historic match. I forget what insult Hogan called Andre.
Like Ward Infest the Giant.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know why
Hogan,
the hell I
man, it
remember
was 33
that.
years ago, dude. Show some respect, bro. Come on now.
Right.
We get the triple threat matchup next. Fairly straightforward. I'm not gonna lie. It was a good match. It was a good match. Yeah. I'll give it that. Sammy ducks out of the beginning. He lets Apollo Crews and Big E kick it off. Crews hits a moonsault from the apron onto a prone Big E on the mat. Not even like where he gets caught. That was pretty badass. I'll give it that. Yeah. Sami Zayn kind of picks up the momentum after that commercial break. He hits Big E hits a splash on both Sammy and Apollo Crews, who are side by side. Sammy hits a haluva kick to Big E. Crews at that point spills out the ring with Sami Zayn. Military presses him into the timekeeper table. That was actually pretty dope. And then, but immediately walks into a big ending and eats the loss in this triple threat. I gotta tell you, not that it's like anything controversial, but you guys were talking about how like Apollo Crews is as bland as Natalia on the mic. So correct me if I'm wrong here, or maybe I just have like a weird way of looking at this. I think Apollo Crews' in-ring ability makes it even harder to be a fan of him. Not that he's not athletically impressive, but he's not relatable to that degree either. Even like someone like Daniel Bryan, he's always fighting upwards. He's really skilled in the ring. He's fighting upward. Crews feels like he has an advantage over the competition and still loses. And I almost feel like it makes it hard to be even a fan of his in-ring ability at that point. Because what's the story? You're dumb? Yeah. Like
I agree with you to a certain extent on that, but I think that because he's lost so much that he really doesn't have an advantage. And I think that's what the issue is, that no matter what he does, no matter how big he is, no matter how strong he is, no matter how fast he is, you know that motherfucker's going to lose. And I think that's
he's got the pro wrestling equivalent of a glass jaw.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like I think that he's had so much shit thrown on him and lost so many times that even though he does physically, there is nobody better than him, maybe except for Big E. And Big E's still not as athletic as him. But like, that at the end of the day, no matter what he does, he's going to lose. And that's what I think that's I think that goes hand in hand with your issue that you have with him.
Yeah.
That even though he shouldn't be the underdog at all, but he's always the underdog.
Yeah, it's weird, man. It's a weird dynamic.
He's Natty. He's the black Natty. You said it. I mean, I just clarified it, made it more clear. Like outside of the ring, to me, he's the black Natty. Like it's just like it's live, laugh, love in a black suit.
Yeah. All right. Last up of the evening, Edge finally made it out to the ring. Essentially, just who's he gonna choose? Roman Reigns comes out. Edge kind of mocks him. You had to bring back up, of course, addressing Jey Uso. I like Roman's retort. He says, man to man, I give you my word. Without my blessing, Paul will not make a move on you. I thought I got a chuckle out of me. Edge, obviously being the veteran, being like miles ahead of Roman in the head games. Let's just be honest. He says, look, I'm already in your head. That's why he's out here. Roman motions to Jey to dismiss him. At that point, Roman tells him, I'm only going to say this once, acknowledge me. And then goes on to tell him what to acknowledge, like a whole bunch of things that he needs to acknowledge.
Let me cut you off right here. I don't want to go on a rant.
Yeah.
But I'm going to recant all the shit I said about Edge winning the Rumble.
What's that?
And I said that to Bama last night on the show, that if we're going to get this from Edge and not the only every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks he shows up until Mania.
Yeah.
Because there was an article that he did somewhere where he said that I'm not going to be a part-timer.
No.
If I'm going to do this, I'm going to be on every fucking show there is. I may not wrestle, but you're going to see me every week until Mania. If he does that, then the part-time shit, to me, my argument against him gets thrown out the window, because if you're going to bring a part-time guy back part-time, he shouldn't be part-time the entire time. Yeah. He should just be part-time on how he wrestles. But if you're going to come back like what he did at NXT, it made NXT feel bigger than NXT's felt in years, really. Just his simple presence alone, being in the ring with Finn and Pete Dunne. And this right here, calling Roman out, but also giving Roman room to take shots at him as well, which most of the time that doesn't happen with these part-time guys. They always have to get over. They always have to be the one that stands up top. But like you said, that those little jabs that Roman was throwing back, when does that ever happen with these part-time guys? Like, if Edge is really here to do what he's supposed to do, I take back everything I said about him running the Rumble, and I'm fucking here for it.
Bama in the chat says, "Attaboy, RN, proud of you." Oh, man. Matt Ritter says, RN's late for his party. Well, really, that was
Fashionably
it.
Late.
After Roman says, acknowledge me, say my name, at this point he says, that's your cue. Edge never gets to mutter a word. This was the plan all along, to get Jey Uso out of the way. Kevin Owens comes in, hits a stunner. Edge chuckles to himself, drops the mic, walks off. And that's how they close out SmackDown, confirming kind of a lot of people's speculation that they're going to tease us for a while to share Edge's star power across the shows, and see if that helps out with the ratings. And I anticipate them to probably do the same with Bianca, possibly. But at least for Edge-wise, I think we still have at least...
Bama and I, we talked about it as well. Like, I'm here for that. Like, drag it out as long as you can.
Yeah. We still have a couple more appearances on Raw, maybe another appearance or two on NXT.
Because like I said, his contract too is only matches. It doesn't say his actual appearances. It's like 4 or 5 matches he signed for. So technically, he can show up on every goddamn show they put him on if he's up to it. And like Bama said, it was a good point he brought up last night on the show. Where's his wife a commentator at?
She was on Twitter saying to choose NXT, we have cookies. But well, anyways, what did you guys think of SmackDown? Let us know down in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this video, or subscribe to the channel and all that that stupid fun stuff. You know what I mean. Leave a like, rating, and review on the podcast form of all of this. And then once again, head over to patreon.com/SmackDrawPodcast. Subscribe to one of our awesome tiers. But like always, folks, until next time, y'all have a good one.
See y'all next week.